I'm Jennifer Bands, and today on Low Carb with Jennifer, I'm going to show you how to make this amazing Dutch oven pot roast. I've got my apron on, and so now let's make some Dutch oven pot roast that is full of umami. So good. We're going to start with a 3 or 4 pound chuck roast. It's going to be the best cut of meat you can make or buy for a pot roast. It's got lots of great marbling. It's going to be so flavorful. We're going to season it with both sides, all sides, very well with salt and pepper. We've got our meat seasoned, so now let's push this to the side. We're going to get our pot all set up. I've got a good sized Dutch oven. You want about a 5-quart. So we're going to sear our beef on all sides so it gets a nice crust. That means you're going to want to heat your pot over high heat, but wait to add your oil until your pot is hot. Let's add our oil to the pan. I'm using avocado oil, but you can use olive oil, canola oil, whatever you've got. Our pan is hot. Let's add our beef. Ooh, that's what you want. And for even browning, you want to make sure and turn your meat around. Just depends on if your burners don't heat evenly, like this one. You also want to make sure and stand them up on the sides so you can get all of the sides browned as well. We've got our roast nicely seared, so I'm going to remove it from the pot, put it back on the platter. Okay, we're going to add our vegetables to the pot. These are just purely for flavor. These are not what you're going to serve your roast with. We've got 2 large carrots, 2 stalks of celery, and a half of an onion chopped. And I used rainbow carrots just to be pretty, and that's what the grocery store had, but any carrots will do. I'm going to add a tablespoon of tomato paste. I'm just going to eyeball it. Stir that all around and get the tomato paste worked into the vegetables. I've turned the heat off on my pan. It's still really hot. Now I've got a good sized sprig of thyme, 3 garlic cloves that I've smashed and peeled, and 2 bay leaves. I'm going to add those to the pot. Just stir them around. Get them in there with that tomato paste. Now we're going to add the roast back to the pot, right on top of the vegetables. And we're going to pour 3 cups of beef broth into the pot. Now we're going to cover this with the lid. And this is going to go in a 300-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 3 to 4 hours until the meat shreds and it's super tender. After that, we can work on our vegetables that go with the pot roast. Okay, our pot roast is so tender, it spent 3.5 hours in the oven. So now let's finish it up. I'm going to pull out our super tender roast and put it on this plate. Ooh, it's so tender. Okay, let's set that aside. So now I'm going to create a sauce with the vegetables and the juices that are left in the pot. I'm going to lift up one side of the pot so I can get my immersion blender submerged. Oh, first of all, I almost forgot. You want to pull out your thyme sprig. We don't want that. And your bay leaves. Let's remove those. So let's give it a taste and just see if it needs anything. Ooh, that's good. So here I've got a small bowl of chopped vegetables. I've got quartered red potatoes, some chopped rainbow carrots, the rest of my rainbow carrots, and I've got some roughly chopped shiitake mushrooms. So, you know, not everyone in my household eats low carb, so we've got potatoes for those people. So if you don't want to use potatoes, don't add potatoes. So I'm going to add all of this to the pot. Get that in there with the sauce. Now let's add our beef back to the pot. The lid goes back on. And this needs to go back in the oven for 15 more minutes or until your potatoes are fork tender. All right, our vegetables are cooked. And this just falls apart. I mean, look at how tender and juicy that meat is. This looks amazing. So any big fatty pieces, you're going to want to pull off and discard. And then shred that. And since it's just a big pot of brown, I've got some fresh chopped parsley to sprinkle on top. Okay, let's ladle some of this into a bowl. I mean, how good does that look? Let's get a bite of this roast. It is just falling apart. I want a bite of carrot, I want a bite of mushroom. That is comfort food. Delicious. So much flavor. So much umami. Be sure you check out this recipe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.